Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's going to be reviewing the Land Rover Defender Sedona Edition. Before we get in this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Land Rover here in Lehigh for giving me some time with this Defender. I'll include a link to their website in the description down below. Also include a link to my car buying guide as well. Let's get into it. Powering this is Land Rover's 3-liter turbo inline 6 that goes through an 8-speed. Fuel economy is 18 around town and then 20 on the highway, with power outputs being 395 horsepower and then 406 pound-feet of torque. Now before I move forward with this review, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So taking a look at the hood, you guys can see that this is finished in Sedona red. It's a special edition, so you got the special edition color. We have the checker plates here on the hood, and then you can see down below with the cool light element there. And then we've got the fog lights here at the bottom. We've got some parking sensors integrated. Notice how everything's blacked out here on the front end, so you've got a nice contrast between the Sedona red and the blacked out elements. Now our tire wheel setup is 275 by 45 by 22 in the front and over in the rear. And you can see here with the wheels, you've got that kind of like rugged looking 5-spoke design, again also blacked out. You can see you've got these nice painted fender flares, got the vent piece there on the side. Mirror cap's also blacked out, and so again, look at the two-tone on this. I think it looks really sharp, especially in person. Now this leads us to Land Rover's fancy key fob. So you have your lock and unlock function, turn on the lights, and then that's just the unlock for the hatch. Land Rover logo there on the back. And speaking of hatch, it is a swing gate. This is one of the cool things about the Defender. This is rare with modern vehicles. I like it a lot. Cargo cover built in from the factory. We've got power in the back, and then having air suspension means we can raise and lower the rear end to make accessing it a little bit easier. And then you guys can see the recovery points on the back. But yeah, really cool setup there. And then I love the Defender taillights. I think those are another fun part of it. And then you've got the nice spare tire cover. So this just has a fancier look. But let me know what you guys think about the Sedona red here on the exterior. Now this leads us inside, and you basically just get kind of like a loaded up Defender interior, so really nice trim, still have the exposed rivets and all of that. And then this has the mixed seats, that's what I call them. So you can see the leather trim here on the top section, but then you've got like the resist on the side, which has a very premium feel to it. And then you'll see this one has the vents in the back, heated seats, you've got the USBs, and of course you've got the Alpine windows up top as well. So it's got all the goodies, and so yeah. And then this leads us up front, where again you've got the nicer trim with this. All of our window controls here. We've got our mirror adjustments, memory seat function too, blind spot monitoring with the mirrors. And then here's the front seat again with all that nice leather trim. Power adjustments on the side. You get a nicer finish on the pedals. And then again you've got the nice trim here, and then on the dash as well. Now we've got really nice trim all around the steering wheel, and you've got the nice stitching on the airbag cover as well. Practical controls here on the front, including for the adaptive cruise control and your heated steering wheel function. And then you've got the traditional stocks here on the back. Full digital gauge cluster with this. The Sedona Edition is kind of just like a fully loaded Defender is one way that you could look at it. We also have the 360 camera system with this as well that'll fill in underneath the vehicle, so that makes parking and off-roading a lot more manageable. And then as for the infotainment system, you get the bigger screen with this. Notice this just has the center locking differential, so again kind of like a loaded up Defender without all of the off-road stuff, but still these are capable off-road even without the rear locker. Anyways, easy to use system there. And then you have the physical control stack down below, so you got the shifter here. This is for the air suspension adjustment, low range. You've got your dual zone climate controls, hill descent control there as well, and then also doubles for the seats to turn those on, and then your drive mode select here. And with this version of the Defender, you basically have a bunch of different off-road modes to adjust through. Pretty simple with that. And then we've got the new center console setup, so a lot of it's pretty much a carryover, but really nice trim here on the side. Got the cup holders here, and then we've got our phone charging pad that's slanted down. Got the giant center console. One thing I love about the Defender is this. I wish more car manufacturers offer this, because look at this. You can use this for storage if you have it open like this, and then you can actually put stuff on top of this as well. Obviously, you don't want to put too much weight there because you might break it, but it's still a nice, like, practical thing to have. Anyways, really nice trim all across there, and then you've got the glove box down below. Let me show you guys. It's big. And then just the regular rearview mirror, and then you actually get a fancier headliner. I don't know if it's going to show up on camera very well, but it's very soft and premium. So you do get that with this package, and then panoramic sunroof. Now here's our window sticker for this Sedona edition, and basically everything's standard equipment. There is a few options you can add to this, like air suspension, for example. $85,125. So this is, again, right in line with a loaded up Defender. So you're not really paying a price premium for the Sedona edition. You're just getting a loaded up Defender that happens to be a special edition. Well, let us set off in the Sedona edition. Again, basically just a loaded up 4-door Defender. But the reason why I want to do a driving portion on this is I'm going to be doing a review on a 90 today as well. And so I just want to have the 4-door fresh in my mind so that when I hop into the 90, I'm able to just accurately talk about everything. But yeah, these new Defenders and new Land Rovers in general, it's kind of interesting to see how there's, I mean, you guys can see there's a lot of stuff available. Again, if you don't know, I mean, this is getting a little bit too much into the weeds, but I think it's worth talking about in a Land Rover video. Land Rover has their dealers region locked. And so, for example, if you live in, let's say, I don't know, the East Coast, you can't buy a Defender on the West Coast, for example, or like a Land Rover from a dealership brand new. The dealers get in trouble for that, basically. When I say in trouble, Land Rover kind of, yeah, they do what they're going to do. So it's an interesting thing. The reason why I'm bringing that up is I feel like they should, I think I've said this in videos in the past, I think they should just open it up at this point. Just let the Land Rover dealers compete with each other, and then, yeah. Anyways, the Defender. I still love how this drives. So my wife and I owned one of these for a year, and we're now rocking some Yodas. We've got Land Cruisers. What I will say with the Defender is it's so comfortable. Unibody construction means it just handles really well, and then the independent suspension, turn-in's really good, and it's just a comfortable ride in general. The air suspension soaks everything up so well on road, and it's quiet. The only thing that I've noticed every single time I pop into a Defender, when we owned one, I didn't think about it too much because all my vehicles that I owned at that time were bigger than the Defender, but now I own like smaller vehicles. Like the new 250 Land Cruiser we have is pretty narrow, and then I'm driving my Grenadier today, that's also pretty narrow. This is a wide vehicle, and it, like, inside, the benefit is like it feels very spacious in here, but it also feels pretty big on road. I think the Defender is like almost 80 inches. It's not quite, right, or it need marker lights, but yeah, it's a big vehicle in terms of the width and you know, overall size. Like the Defenders are actually pretty big. When you see them in person, you kind of understand just how big they are. But yeah, I mean, again, turn-in's great. The powertrain's super smooth. I recommend the inline 6. The V8s are phenomenal as well, but inline 6 is kind of like sweet spot for price point. Fuel economy still good, and then it's got more than enough power, right? The 4-cylinder is a little bit lackluster with how big the Defender is, but this has more than enough power. Yeah, I forgot how nice these are to drive. My wife always talks about how she wants one again, and it's like expensive. And you still get kind of like it, because it's such a big vehicle, you still get that tank-like feel that you get in body-on-frame SUVs. I think this is probably the only, outside of the Rolls-Royce Cullinan, because I think that's unibody as well, if I remember right. I think this and the Cullinan are the only, and maybe a Mercedes GLS, maybe. But yeah, anyways, only unibody SUVs that kind of have a tank-like feel. Look how smooth that is. Yeah, it's really nice. You gotta love how this drives. So overall, the Sedona edition, I don't think there's a downside to this. It's really cool color. So basically, and manufacturers are doing this more and more. They're offering you a special edition package, and you're not paying a huge price premium. So if you just want something that is, if you just want a loaded up Defender, and you also want like a special edition, boom, 2 for 1, and you're not paying like a crazy premium. Because I mean, usually, like, I mean, in the past, I feel like manufacturers would be like, oh, extra 10 grand for the special edition, and it's like 10 grand for a badge, right? So it's kind of cool how they've set things up with this. But let me know, regardless, what you think about the new Defender in general, and I want to see a conversation in the comments. Is there anything that you'd change on the new Defender? Let me know with that. But that's all.